Hey there, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it's your first time here. I've had quite a few new subscribers recently thanks to a lovely shout out from Liz, who is the baker that sews. So if you trusted her recommendation and found your way over to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here in my little corner of the YouTube sewing community. If you are here for sewing content today, there's not a lot of it. I am away from home right now helping a sick family member. I have access to a sewing machine, but it is definitely not a priority. I've been doing a lot of knitting and cross-stitching though, because I can pick those up and put them down easily. I can sit with my family member and keep them company while I'm still keeping my hands busy, etc. So I have a little bit of sewing to talk about in this episode of #FridaySews. I'll do that first and then kind of talk about the other stuff. So if you're just interested in sewing, you can click off after that. This is an episode of #FridaySews, which was started by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. Thank you so much, Jen, for this wonderful hashtag. It's been, I think, 2 weeks since I did a video, but like I said, I don't really have that much sewing to talk about because I left right after I filmed that other one. Okay, let's just get into it. One of the actual only sewing project I brought with me is a quilt. I have been working on blocks for this. I'm calling it the Floral Rail Fence Ripple. I actually think that's what it was called. It's a free pattern from All People Quilt, I think. I'll find it and link it down below. And you just get these blocks, which are made of very, very tiny pieces. So I started it, gosh, 9 months ago, last spring-ish, and have basically not touched it because it is tedious. But tedious has been nice to have here, because really, honestly, sewing in another person's sewing room is like cooking in another person's kitchen. You feel 40% less capable because you don't know where anything is or how anything works. Or at least that's how I feel. What I worked on for this, I made these blocks. I made these back when I started the quilt before I got annoyed by how tedious it was. But I had all of these pairs of strips. I had pieced some of them together, but I finished piecing them all. They were organized-ish at one point. That has gone out the window. I'll have to go through and organize them again. But I got all of these sewn together, which took kind of a while. So that is the progress I have made on this quilt. Next, I just have to start cutting them into these itty-bitty pieces and piecing them together. So I at least made a large step forward in terms of progress on this quilt, which is exciting. Then the other thing I sewed, which is almost done, is a dress for Project Dress-A-Girl. Anyway, I decided after last year's Project Dress-A-Girl that for every dress I make my daughter, I will make one for the project, and I made her one right before I left, so I had to make a Project Dress-A-Girl dress. I have been using this pattern, McCall's 7768, and I made view C the first time I used it. The problem with views C and D is that you have to sew the straps in on both sides, so you are setting that size when you make it, which makes sense if you have the person there to try it on. And that's how it's kind of designed, is it has you make a longer strap, and then when you're almost finished with it, you put it into the yoke and then put it on your small human, pin it, and then finish it so it's just the right length for them. I don't know the human that mine is going on, so I did make one of those, but I got really paranoid about it. So the second version I did, I used all the pieces of this, but then I constructed the straps in the same way as the Oliver and S Popover sundress, which was a really popular free PDF that people have used for this charity sewing project. It has you use either make your own or use store-bought bias tape to finish the armholes, but then you use double fold. So you finish the armholes with that. Are they really holes if there's no sleeve? The armpit area, the arm side. It's not even a whole arm side though. Anyway, and then you use those as a tie. So I was like, oh my gosh, what I will do is I will insert straps like it has you do for views C and D, but I'll just make them longer and then I can tie it because I don't really, the bias tape's kind of scratchy. Anyway, I wanted the thicker strap look. And I was so proud of myself. I was like, oh my gosh, I found a workaround. This is so smart. It'll be adjustable. You know what other genius thought of that? Whoever drafted the pattern. Views A and B have you use ribbon to do that exact same thing. So the solution was in front of my face the entire time. I just got so fixated on the other views that I ignored it. But we're here now. I made straps instead of using ribbon. I made straps of the same fabric as the dress. This is almost done. Everything is done except I need to slip stitch the yokes down. I'm not good at stitching in the ditch, so I'm gonna go ahead and slip stitch them, and then when I get home I'll put a label on the pocket. I didn't do any contrast fabrics or anything. It is all this cotton that I got from Joann's. That is so cute, and I realized why I love it. After working with it, I realized why I fell in love with it. I made a dress back in October that I absolutely love. I'm obsessed with it. And the fabric for that one, I also got at Joann's, and it's just a quilting cotton, but it has this. The background of this fabric is basically what that whole dress is on a slightly larger scale. That's exactly why I fell in love with this fabric, and I think it's super cute. Like I said, I didn't do any contrast or anything. I think my mom has rickrack buried somewhere. I know she has ribbon somewhere. I honestly didn't feel like looking through all of her stuff for it because she has a lot of sewing stuff and I don't know where it all is. So anyway, I finished this except for the yokes, which I will finish one day when I'm sitting around. And there's another dress done. So that is it for sewing. If you were just here for the sewing content, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in my next video. If you are here to know a little bit more about how my knitting journey is going and my surprise cross stitch journey, which is cross stitch really ever a journey, but it's going well. My first project, knitting project, is basically complete. I decided to make a throw pillow cover, and I can't put it on my throw pillow form until I get home. Now, there are a lot of mistakes. This is my first thing, and I'm so pleased with how it turned out. Not even gonna lie, I'm very, very happy with myself. There are so many flaws with it, but it's handmade, and it's my first item, so who cares? I learned a ton, which was the whole point. I made the front a wide rib. So it's a 5x5 wide rib. I just used some yarn I bought at Walmart. They sell it at Joann's too. It's the, I'll put a picture of it up because I think I saved the label. There we go. And then for the back, I just did a stockinette. Yeah, and then I seamed 3 of the sides, and then when I get home, I will use a mattress stitch, I think, for the final seam once I get the pillow form in it. Now, you may notice that it is a very awkward shape. I think the pillow form will fill out so that the edges aren't quite so pointed. This is just happening because of the ribbing, but I got impatient. I'm not gonna lie. I was so over still working on the project. I just wanted to see it done that I just cast off and was like, okay, bye on both of these pieces. So it was supposed to be a square. It is not a square. So I either am gonna have to fix that somehow or find a more rectangular pillow form, which would defeat the purpose of making something to cover this pillow form that I already have. But you know what? It's fine. But anyway, very imperfect, but I love it. I also made a dishcloth from this little book. It is from Annie's Knit, Learn a Stitch Knit Dishcloths, 6 new stitch patterns. So I made the very first one in the book, the herringbone dishcloth. I have video of it to put in because it's I blocked it, so it's still drying. I wet blocked it. And then the one I'm working on now is the golden coins dishcloth. I am having trouble with my gauge. I'm speaking very hesitantly because this is all very new terminology and I'm pretty sure I'm not using it all correctly. But I'm having trouble with my gauge. I looked at some troubleshooting and most things were like use a smaller needle size, which is fine, but I don't want to go buy a smaller needle size and I'm using what's suggested and I just want to do it right. So something else I found said that the knit will be looser if you knit with your needles more parallel. So I'm going to try knitting more, well, not parallel, well, yeah, parallel to the ground, more horizontal. Try knitting with them a little more vertically tomorrow when I'm working on it and see how it goes. But yeah, so that is how knitting is going. And then, like I said, I kind of surprise got into cross stitch. I was looking for something to do and my mom mentioned that she had a bunch of old cross stitch not even kits, just cross stitches she had started because she used to cross stitch quite a lot. So I went through and pulled them out and there was one that was almost done that she started in, I think she said the mid 80s. It's a Christmas one and she had done the whole center, the door, everything inside the door, the bricks around and stuff. And the tree on the left, she had finished except for the back stitching around it. And the tree on the right, she had done most of the green. So I finished the snow on the tree on the right. I added some more green and then I did all of the back stitching and then I did the lettering on the bottom, the welcome to the Waits part. So I did that and I did, like I said, I did all the back stitching, which took approximately forever. It felt like it was fun. It was relaxing. I just sat there doing it. But yeah, lots of back stitching. Then I already purchased some patterns online. I was looking for free cross stitch patterns because I love a free pattern or an inexpensive one. But then I found these really cute seasonal tree ones and could not help myself, which is kind of unlike me. But I was sitting in a hospital room very bored. I was scrolling, as you do, and they were just so cute. I kept looking for free ones. I even looked for less expensive ones. These aren't that expensive, but I kept looking for less expensive ones and I just kept going back to them and they're super cute. So I bought all four. There was a bundle deal. What can I say? Even if I don't do a ton of cross stitch in my life, I will make these four. I think it would be cute to find somewhere to hang it and change them out with the season. So that is my plan there. I started the spring one. I have like a couple rows done, but that is where I'm at with cross stitch. So not a lot of sewing. We'll see if I do any more sewing. Like I said, it's not a priority right now. In terms of life, not a ton going on. I really miss my husband and my daughter. I FaceTime her twice a day and she's so cute. FaceTime is a wonderful tool, but also I just want to hug her and kiss her so badly. The kissy monster is going to attack. I am the kissy monster. Will attack when I get back. It'll be awesome. But I'm really glad that I'm here to help my family member. It's been very necessary and having me here has been necessary. So it's definitely not a waste of anyone's time or effort. I just also really miss my family, but that's okay. About a week and a half and I'll be home. That does it for today's episode of #Friday Sews. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you hit that like button. And if you are watching but you're not subscribed, I hope that if you're still watching at this point, you are considering subscribing. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button below and hit the notification bell if you want to know when I upload a new video. Thank you so much for joining me and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.